Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Just Talking About Sports. I'm Ethan.
Matthew.
And I'm Michael.
And Michael, what are we doing today?
Today we are just talking about sports.
Thank you so much. And today we got another video with the three of us. And this time, like we said in the previous video, conference championships are now beginning to start up. We are almost there, man. We are almost there. March Madness is just around the corner. Now that conference championships are coming up, we are thrilled. We cannot be more thrilled to be happier. There's just no way to describe it right now because it's been way too long. And today we're going to be starting off with the three conferences that are going to be in February, as February is coming to an end as well. We're going to be talking about the Horizon, the America East, and the Big South. Horizon starts the 25th, America East starts the 26th, and the Big South starts the 27th. So we're just going to be running through how the divisions, at least in our opinion, has gone so far, some of the teams that have been good in the past, and which teams are going to be taking it this year. And then we're going to give our predictions on who's going to be taking the conference this year. So without further ado, we'll get right into it, starting with the first conference championship in the Horizon. It's been a interesting year as Cleveland State's finally good once again. It's been a very long time since Cleveland State's been good, but Wright State sits atop the rankings, and then we've got Detroit, Northern Kentucky, and so on, because I don't feel like saying the rest of them. Matt, so what is your opinion on how this conference has gone so far?
The Horizon League has always been the storyline of two teams, Wright State and Northern Kentucky. They have dominated this tournament, this conference for the past 3 years, and have been the teams that have made the tournament in recent memory. Northern Kentucky was going to make it last year. Wright State made it in 2019, and they're likely going to do it again with the schedule that they have had, the team that they have created. But nobody forget about Cleveland State. They were the 8th seed in the Horizon League last year, had a horrible record, way below 500, and made it all the way to the championship in the Horizon League Conference tournament before it never played. And now Cleveland State will have a chance again with a much better team at 16-7. Wright State is led by Luden Love, center from Geneva, Illinois. Yes, Geneva, Illinois. We got players here in Illinois. Well, I'm the only one in Illinois from this group, but you get the point.
I'm from Illinois.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. He's averaging a double-double, 17 and 10. This team is led by Trayvon Calvin as well in the backcourt. He's also from this immediate area. He's from Glendale Heights. He was in what we call the Hardwood Classic here in Illinois, held at Wheeling High School. It's a big tournament here, and he was the star of it just a couple years ago.
Just and a minor shout out.
Yeah, there you go. I love doing that. Wright State's a dangerous program. They only have 5 losses on the season. They're 18-5, 16-4 in conference. And they've been a team to watch the entire season. They've been getting AP poll votes consistently from somebody. Nobody really knows who. It's just been like 1 or 2. And Wright State is in that conversation again to make things happen. They will be that 12 or 13 seed in your bracket to me that makes things happen. They will be very strong. This team is great on both offense and defense, and a team to watch in your brackets.
Michael, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Wright State's probably the best team, but I got to give some love to Cleveland State. This team's fun to watch. Dennis Gates is the head coach there. I think he was a former Florida State assistant. I'm pretty sure of it. The improvement they've made since he's gotten there is remarkable. He has done an excellent job, and he's made this team pretty good. They defend really well. They're not great scoring the ball. And Demoy Hodge is my favorite player on the team personally. I think he is a really good player. I think he has the potential to be a really good player. His stats don't really say it. I've seen him play a couple times, though. He looked really good. Therefore, I think he's really good. I didn't see any of his bad games, so we ignore that. Yeah, I think this is a good team. I think Wright State's probably the class of the league. I think they're the best team, but I want to give Cleveland State some love. And also another guy I should give some love, Detroit Mercy's Antoine Davis. His dad's the coach, so take that for what you will, but he's also one of the top scorers in college basketball, period. He's averaging 23 points a game. It's not easy to do that. He's shooting 35% from 3 on a ton of shots. Not bad. 41% from the field and 90% from the line. He's a really good player. He's a really good scorer, and he's turned it up recently. I watched the game against Cleveland State, the first one. It was the one when he just went off. He went off for 35 points. In his last few games, he has scored 26, 35, 23, 26, and 29. So he is peaking at the right time, and I think this Detroit Mercy team could be a little fun sleeper to see in the championship game if they get there.
I have one
and
thing to add very quickly on Antoine Davis. He's been top 5 in the NCAA in scoring both of the past 2 years. He's continued to do it again this year. However, he is scoring less than usual. The only other guy that scored more than him last year was Justin Wright Foreman, who is now a point guard of the Utah Jazz and played for Hofstra. But Ethan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this has been not the brightest one, as I guess I'm the third. I watch it the least, which is out of everybody, and I still watch it a ton. But I haven't been paying full attention to this one. But being able to see that Cleveland State is actually competitive again, because usually I'm so used to them seeing them at dead last in this division or conference, and I'm not being competitive at all. Seeing them at 16-4, I'll continue the hype train and hype them up. But I like, there's some other players I want to shout out to, along with, I believe, Jalen Moore on Oakland. Dude is leading the entire NCAA with assists per game with 8.4. Dude is a assist god, if you want to call it that. So maybe they got a little chance to do it. In Northern Kentucky, they've been in it lots of years, and most recently it's been usually between Wright State, Northern Kentucky, but Northern Kentucky's having a down year. So this is going to be an interesting conference to see who's going to be able to have it this year. But right now, we'll move into the predictions. Matt, who you got atop your in making it into March Madness, securing the first bid?
So what I'm going to do for these is I'm going to give you my championship for the conference, and then I'll tell you who wins. So I think Wright State's the first team to get in. They are the 2 seed, by the way. I do want to point out the fact that Cleveland State did take the 1 seed in this conference because they had the tiebreaker over them. So that's important. But I'm going to take the 2 seed Wright State to make it to the championship, and I think Northern Kentucky is the 4 seed gets there. In another battle between these 2 heavyweights, I'm going to take Wright State. I've been talking about it. This team makes it into the tournament as either a week 12 or a strong 13.
All right, Michael, your thoughts on your predictions?
I think it's going to be the 1 and the 2. I think Wright State, Cleveland State, it's boring. However, though, I will take Detroit Mercy over Northern Kentucky, and I will do that pretty confidently. I got my boy Antoine Davis in that one, and I want to pick Cleveland State. I really want to, but I don't see it. I think Wright State's just better overall. So I'll take Wright State.
Yeah, I know Cleveland State was able to knock them off earlier in the season, but that second game against them, because they played the first game, they won by 2 points. That second game was a disaster for Cleveland State. Yeah. And that's the kind of game that I'm worried about for them in the future. And I think this is, as much as Detroit Mercy or Northern Kentucky team will be fun to watch, we'll absolutely be cheering for them if they're going to be towards the end. But I think this is a 2-man race for first and securing the first bid. And I think Wright State's got it. They've been solid for years upon at least most recent years. And I think they're going to be continuing their reign over the Horizon League, and they're going to secure their bid. So all 3 of us are taking the Horizon, or taking Wright State in the Horizon. And we'll see if that'll actually happen. But we'll be able to come back and look at this and see all our thoughts. So now we're going to move on to the next conference that'll be starting up. This one's a little bit weirder, but which I don't know the full details. Matt will probably tell them the details once we get to him. But America East starts the 26th, which is this Friday. This is another one I personally enjoy watching because it's got one of my favorite teams I love watching in it, and they are atop the standings right now. So UMBC is at the top, Vermont's in second, New Hampshire's in third, Hartford's in fourth, and I don't feel like telling the rest because they don't really matter. So for the America East, this is going to be another interesting year because usually it's just stuck with UMBC and Vermont in the championship every year. But Matt, what are your thoughts on this America East so far?
Well, let me tell you the first thing, that nothing's going to change. Because of this new adjusted bracket in the America East, the top 2 seeds receive double buys, automatic tickets to the semifinals. Guess who the top 2 seeds are? You just said it, UMBC and Vermont. These 2 have been duking it out for the past 5 years. Vermont is always in the tournament. UMBC had their one big year. Oh, yeah, that's the year they beat Virginia. So UMBC walks in with that same fire. Darnell Rogers is 5'2" and plays like he's 7'8". He is a dominant player, super fun to watch. And the reason UMBC, you want to go back and say, I want to watch UMBC because of Darnell Rogers. That's the first thing I want to mention. Vermont is the boring pick. I'm sorry, unless I disagree. I know Ethan's with me. Vermont is the boring pick. They are a dominant team. But UMBC is the storyline. When they made the tournament, they made history, and we want to see them get back there and do it again. The question is, will they? I don't know. UMBC definitely has a great, solid roster. RJ Idle Rock averaging 14 for UMBC. Very, very, very skilled, very, very skilled guard. I could keep going all day. 6'3". He's got all the skill set you need. He also leads a team in assists. Darnell Rogers is an interesting player. I already said it. He's 5'2", gets a lot of minutes. He gets boards. That's important. 2 rebounds a game for a 5'2" point guard. Let's start giving him some credit. To me, this is a 2-man race. I don't even think it's worth talking about anybody else, but I will for the sake of New Hampshire. They get a single bye, and Nick Guadarrama averaging 14 for them. He also averages 7 rebounds. He is the driving force of this team. Without him, they are lost. Those are the 3 teams to watch. They all have byes at some point.
All right. Well, that's very, very thrilling. And Michael, got anything to add before we head to the predictions?
Yeah, I'm not going to add anything on anyone other than Vermont. I think Vermont's going to win this league. I just spoiled my prediction, but I want to give some credit. Ryan Davis is out for Vermont, averaging 18 and almost 7, shooting 40% from 3. They brought Steph Smith back. He's been a point guard they've had there for years. And I mean, those are the 2 guys on Vermont. Ryan Davis averaging 18. He's taken that Anthony Lamb-like role, if you remember him from a couple years back. That's really all I got to say on these teams.
Yeah, there's really nobody else to really talk about. And since you already gave a prediction, I'll let Matt go and continue the predictions. Who do you got winning the America East this time?
This to me is closer than what Michael has brought. I think that it's a lot closer between UMBC and Vermont. But when it comes to tournament experience and overall success in this situation, it is far and away Vermont. I love UMBC. I'm so happy for them. This is the end of the road, though. Vermont clinches another tournament spot, and they are once again a 13 or 14 seed that you look at your bracket and you think about it before writing the other team's name down.
There's no way I can pick against my Retrievers.
Yeah,
I'm not wearing my sweatshirt right. I'm not wearing my sweatshirt right now, and I totally would be at the moment, but I am not, because I still believe in this team, because nobody really believed in them when they first made it in the first place, and then Lyles went and hit that game-winning shot over Vermont, and it's literally been a battle back and forth, and UMBC won the final game against them, and I think they're going to be able to carry that lead with them to the championship, because they were able to win by 11. So that's a decent amount. And they held them, Vermont, to only 55 points. So this UMBC team can play defense as well. So I think that it'll be, as much as Vermont is a little bit taller and they've been having better players, like you said, with Davis and Shungu, I think that UMBC overall has a better team. And I think that because of that and their defense will be able to stop them. And I think UMBC's got it. So just to be bold, and I can never pick against my Retrievers. So now we'll move into our final conference that'll be happening here in February, and our final one that we're reviewing for this episode. It is the Big South. So this team's got one big dog ahead of them in Winthrop, who is 20-1. Recently, or about 2 weeks ago, they dropped a game that they should not have, and if they would not have dropped that game, they would be in the top 25 rankings right now, because they still would have been undefeated and they would be 21-0. But they were unlucky and had to drop that game to, I believe it was Hampton, if I'm pretty sure. But
it was UNC Asheville.
It was UNC Asheville. Thanks for saving me. But then in second, we got Radford. Radford's been kind of in it for recently. They've been the team that's been able to win it for this Big South. And then you got UNC Asheville and Campbell right behind them. And once again, I don't care about the rest of them. So Matt, let me hear what you got about the Big South, and what are your thoughts on it so far this year?
Well, this conference is 10 Davids versus 1 Goliath. And those 10 Davids don't have a chance. Winthrop has been absolutely dominant. They're 20-1, and in a small conference, they're still dominating the exact way many would anticipate them. There is one player who has stood above the rest in this entire conference. And remember the name, Chandler Vodrin. 12 points, 7 boards, 7 assists a game. He's a 6'7" guard. He's a senior. This is his last chance, but he is carrying this team in the most dominant way possible. He leads the entire team in 4 statistical categories: steals, assists, rebounds, and points. He carries this team. And without him, they will struggle immensely. They won't even stand a chance. He is so dominant. He has played every game this season. He started every game. He's averaging 33 minutes a game. You play 40 minutes in a college basketball game. So this man gets no rest for the weary. The issue with him, not a good free throw shooter, only shoots 68% from the free throw line, but what he's been able to do otherwise is good enough within itself. Winthrop in general, 5 games ahead of the next best team in the Big South. They will not lose when at full strength and when healthy. That was not the case when they lost to UNC Asheville. This is not that scenario again. If they are healthy and nobody else gets injured, they're done playing. Everybody else in the conference still got to play one more game. They don't have to. So Winthrop is looking really good right now. And as long as they can keep moving, this conference isn't a contest.
Michael, your thoughts?
Yep, I'm with him completely. This Winthrop team is really good. Asheville might just be a bad matchup because that other game they only beat them by 4. But other than that, I just think they roll this conference. Early in the season, they went out. They beat a very good UNC Greensboro team. They beat a Little Rock team that was projected to win the Sun Belt before Marquise Noel transferred and that whole saga went on. And then they killed Furman. They beat them by 16. I mean, this team's really good. They're leaps and bounds better than the next team. And they're the 12th fastest paced team in the country, according to Ken Palm. So they're fast, they're fun. And while they average 79 points a game, no one on their team averages over 12.5 points a game. So they have a ton of guys who can put the ball in the bucket, but not like they don't rely on one guy too much. They're going to be good. They have guys who can take over games, as Chandler Vaudrin, as he mentioned, great player. And I just think this team takes it. I think they take it pretty comfortably, frankly.
Yeah, since you guys have already pretty much said it, and there's really no reason I think that Winthrop should lose because of how dominant they've been this year. So I'm also going to probably take Winthrop because they've been the star of the Big South, and they have just been, like I said, so dominant that I don't think any team's going to really have a chance. So, I mean, you guys pretty much covered it all. Winthrop is pretty much 20-1, no signs of stopping. They had to get at least one of the losses out of the way because their pressure would have continued to build into the championship, which could have made them lose one of the games. But now they got one loss out of the way. Don't have to worry about being the undefeated team or the only undefeated team, which would have built pressure. So Winthrop Eagles, I think that they will be able to claim this Big South. And I think both you guys agree. So I think that will do us for this Big South, for this start of our conference championship coverage, as we're going to try and go through all the different divisions and conferences that they have in college basketball. Why? Because we absolutely love college basketball, and you cannot tell us otherwise. And now that they're starting up, we're almost here. We're only about two weeks away, I think, 2 weeks away from Selection Sunday. So it is almost here. Time is coming to an end, and I cannot wait, man. So we are excited, and we'll keep a lookout for all these college basketball videos because we're going to be trying to pump as many of them as we can as the conferences begin to start up. So that'll do it, though, for this video. I hope everyone has enjoyed. And until next time, we'll be here just talking about sports.
Everybody have a good one.